then you're like, yes, now you're full screen, and I'm a little bit in your image as well. But yeah, so Ted DesMaisons,
We,
published author.
yeah, it's kind of wild to hear that, but yes,
Uh-huh.
that's me.
Yes.
I just came from a session on credentialing in the AIN community.
Tell me, how was it?
So it was really interesting because, this is something that a lot of people have been thinking about for a long time, is how do we preserve and protect the art and the practice of applied improv, and that anybody can put up a shingle and say they're doing it, and what does that mean? How do we hold a standard, and who gets to decide what the standard is, and all that?
Yes.
And so there have been a handful of folks working behind the scenes for years to try to piece that together. And today they opened up the conversation to a wider group. Originally, it was the only folks invited were folks who were already certified practitioners.
Okay. Are you a certified practitioner?
I am.
I'm not. I'm very good, but I'm not certified.
I know you.
But so I'm really curious to hear why I should be certified.
Right. And then
Can you move it again a little bit to your right?
Sure. They got some
Yes.
inquiry and decided to open it up, and so there were a lot more other people there. And in the past, certified had meant that you applied to be certified, you did a self-evaluation of whether you qualified, and then there were a few objective metrics that you checked, and that they verified that you had done certain things in order to get certified.
Yes.
But there
Check. Hey, I'm certified. Yeah.
And you paid a certain fee, right? So you can be on the website. There's no observation as part of that. So this next impulse is to say, how can we take the next level and move that certified label to include this person's been vetted, we've seen them work, we know what they do, that sort of thing. So it's really fascinating because there are great ideas about what are all the different touch points that somebody coming in who wants to be certified, what they need to experience, and then what are the things that AIN needs to do to shepherd them along the way. Also big picture questions about what does it even mean, and why should we be doing it, and why are we the people to do it, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Why did you get certified? Why did you choose?
I got certified because, that's a great question, partly because I wanted the possibility of getting work referred to me through the network.
And did it ever?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But one of the things is I wanted to be able to be eligible for the mastermind groups, sort of shared leadership support, and I've been a part of that group and a group there, and that's been really great. Love those folks, and I love how they've helped me with my business. And I think, if I'm being honest, I also wanted the cachet within this community. To be able to raise my hand when they say who's a certified practitioner. I feel like I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah.
And then also, thank you. Then also to be able to get better, to be a part of this group of people who's wanted to think about what does it mean to be a good applied improviser, and to be able to help shape that conversation, but then to be able to have it reflect back on me and improve myself. A really big piece of what we did, which we did all morning, was using these 11 competencies that they've come up with.
Can you share them again?
Sure.
So I can read them. Let's see. Mindset, foster inclusion, context, content, presence, listen, manage flow, debrief, and demonstration, feedback and coaching, and balancing risk and safety.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so, we sort of talked about what does each of those mean, and we watched a couple of people lead an exercise, and then we practiced giving them feedback based on these competencies.
Okay.
And so the exercise was more about our giving the feedback than it was about them improving. It was great if we helped improve.
And did it help? Was it helpful to have this framework of these 12 competencies?
Yes, very
Okay.
much so. And I think I'm pretty much in alignment with them. I think they're great. I think they each say something important.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could be tweaked or organized a little bit differently. This afternoon we talked about maybe having them be a subset is about the person, like personal presence, what's your mindset, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
A subset is about person. What's the second one? The third one was post. What do you do afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's performance, presence, performance, and post. It's like how well do you do the thing itself, and then how well do you talk about it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I wanted to add was something about, and our small group that I was in, was something about managing like the choreography and the shape of the room, like how do you manage the physicality?
Yeah, the room itself is hugely important.
We call it staging and choreography. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe that goes in here somewhere with managing the flow or something. But we thought, I also personally think that 12 is a much more satisfying number than 11.
I tend to disagree. I like 11s.
Right.
But 12 sounds more, I don't know, yeah.
It's like, well, 12 is definitely more static.
That's true. Oh,
right?
Now your image is away, but yeah, there you are again.
You've got 3s, you've got 4s, you've got 6s, you've got 2s,
Yes. Okay, so you practiced giving feedback.
I'm going to grab my charger too.
Yeah, true. Sure.
But I can hear you.
Okay, so you practiced giving feedback to people leading stuff and then reflecting back to them based on those 12 competencies.
Yes.
Which one for you really stood out? Like, oh, that one is definitely like the top 3 we really need to focus on, or are they equally important?
I think they're all important, but one of the ones that I think we as an organization are giving more attention to is fostering inclusion. And I think that's a really, really important lever or metric to look at. And one of the things we talked about was somebody led an exercise that had to do with listening, right? So it was, and trust. So you close your eyes and I lead you around by saying your name or saying stop. As you let you either say Anne-Marie or stop, Anne-Marie. And if I say Anne-Marie, you move towards me, towards the sound. And we said, well, how do you do that exercise if somebody's hard of hearing? Well, what do you do? And just even like, oh, right, I have to think about that. I think that's really important. And then, of course, I'm passionate about presence. I think that personal presence and modeling the behaviors that we're trying to teach is super, super important. And then I liked what somebody else said about, I kind of assume that everybody in this room can lead a good improv exercise. The real artfulness comes in the debrief and the drawing out the wisdom and making sense of wisdom and making sense of contradictions.
Yes.
That sort of thing. So,
I tend to agree on that one too, yeah, because I think anybody who can read some exercise or buy a little book with energizers can lead a game or some activity, but where's the real value is in the debrief.
Right. Yeah, so those 3 stood out for me.
Yes. Okay, so how can this framework help us as a community, as facilitators? Maybe we don't all want to get certified right away, but how can we improve ourselves on these 12 competencies?
Yeah, well, one of the things we talked about this afternoon was about creating a self-assessment tool. So I love the idea of, after a gig, pulling this out and saying, all right, how did I do on these? And...
Yeah, because often we are alone.
That's right. Keeping notes for myself on, and then starting to look at patterns of like, oh, this is the 3rd time in the last 4 sessions where I've had an issue of inclusion come up. So how can I take care of that better at the beginning? Or I'm really nailing the content. Like I've got this down, so good on me, right? One of the pep talks we can give ourselves. But I think to have a clear rubric with clear metrics tells us even if we aren't getting certified, this is what excellence looks like, and it ups everybody's game. So I love that.
Yeah. Is there one, because I read kind of quickly through your list, but is there something in there which is related to, I don't know, if you probably have these moments, like you've prepared your ass off and you made a great timeline and you organized everything is set. But then something happens along the way during the process of delivering that you feel, what the hell, skip the timeline, let's do this. Because this is what we need right now.
Right.
Which competency is that?
I think that the two that show up are mindset, which is the further language I have around that is that visible behaviors indicate attitudes and beliefs that align with the values and principles of applied improv.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's, you're doing the stuff. And then the other is demonstration, able to model the skills that you're sharing and to do so when appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that's in just like, can I demonstrate the exercise? But also, as you're saying, okay, here's an opportunity, I'm going to go with it. And being transparent about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to change what I thought I was going to do based on what's happening in this moment. And then that becomes even a heightened example.
I like your way of phrasing that. Actually, when it happens, mention that it happens to you and how you cope with it in the moment. Like something unexpected comes up, so now I have to let go of my preparation and go with this idea. So I'm actually demonstrating that I am doing the principles of improv in the moment now.
That's right. And I think that I also like that shares a little bit of vulnerability too.
Yes.
But
it takes courage also to say, okay, I'm not sure whether this is going to work, but I guess, or I feel this is what we need right now more than this.
Yeah, it shares vulnerability, but maintains positioning.
Yes.
Like I'm choosing to do this.
Cool.
Let's see how it goes, and then if it goes well, great. If it doesn't, then you're like, okay, we tried that. Cool.
Yes. So, what can you share about the people that listen to this and think, yeah, I do want to get certified? How do we proceed?
That's the conversation that is going to continue from here.
Okay.
But there's a tension in the organization and in the community with some folks who want to be like, let's do it now, go. We've got this opportunity at the conference. We could be certifying people this weekend. Mm-hmm. They're all here. We're all here. And then there are other people who are like, we've waited 10 years to do this. Let's get it right. Mm. And so there's some folks who want to take our time and others who are more in the design thinking, like, just get a prototype out there, iterate. Mm-hmm. So my guess is that there's going to be some examples, some beta tests run this weekend. And then there will be more info coming out shortly. But Kat, who's on the board, Kat Coppin, made a promise to the board that she would have something to them by the end of the year.
Okay.
So by the end of the year, there should be...
Until the end of the year, you can still do the check, I'm certified thing.
I don't know.
We'll see. Well,
you want to get under the wire before you have somebody watch you teach.
Well, I still won't be certified, but I'm happy to do the stuff that I do anyway. That's right. But I do like your list, and hopefully this list somehow will get published.
Yes.
So so that we can actually access ourselves or kind of maybe have debrief partners that you can talk through these things, because I think those 11 or 12 competencies are a good thing to have yourself sharp on what you're doing.
Yes.
Great. So thank you so much, Ted.
You're very welcome. I got to run to dinner, but
yes.
I'd like you.
Enjoy your dinner and the whole conference, of course. And if you meet other people, do tell them about me and that they should share whatever they wish to share with me. Good?
Excellent. And